Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here, and we got Belagar Ironhammer here ready to lay the smackdown, fulfilling a grudge for Thorgrim here, and he's going to be leading Clan Angrund against the Greenskins. You can see, of course this is an SFO mod, you can see I have a main line here of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, and the Grumbling Guard here in the middle. On each flank I do have some Runesmiths. I have Belgar Ironhammer, who is a beast in this mod, tons of armor piercing damage, armor sundering, which just makes him do even more damage. Quarrelers out here, Longbeards with great weapons out to each flank. I do have an amazing flame cannon here, who is just terrifying in this mod, and guarding them are the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, and I do have just a regular Grudge Thrower here. I could not afford the Goblobber, which I was definitely sad about. And then out on each flank, I do have some Longbeards with great weapons who do have charged defense against all. So that was kind of my, or against large foes. So that was kind of my idea there. Out to this flank, you can see some hidden nasty skulkers from Steel Faith. He's got some trolls here. He's got a ton of Orc Boys as the front line. He's got Goblins, Orc Arrow Boy firing line, Orc Biggins in the back, some Crimson Killers, Orc Boar Boy Biggins, Orc Chariot, and an Orc War Boss on a Wyvern. And in this mod, you can see these Orc Biggins actually do have armor, mostly armor piercing damage, which is terrifying, but they do not have anti-large anymore. That is the Savage Orc Biggins. So definitely a good pick in this matchup. And you can see, look at this main line. These Orc Boys in the traditional game are pretty bad against the Dwarfs, but in this mod, they do have 10 armor piercing damage, which is really high for such a cheap melee infantry like this, especially a shielded one. So they're going to be putting a smackdown here on my front line. And there are just so many more of them. So you can see Grudge Thrower is opening fire on the Crimson Killers, trying to take them out of the picture. And my Flame Cannon, who does deal non-armor piercing damage, is going to be focusing kind of on this main blob. You can see here that I'm actually not doing that much damage to these guys, which is strange. I am like missing half my shots. But the Flame Cannon is going to open fire. I definitely made the mistake here of letting... Lucky he just took it in the face, and it did nothing. But you can see my Quarrelers are going to be opening fire here on these Trolls soon. I actually can't see these guys, so nice flank from these nasty Skulkers. I really have to take out these Trolls if I want to win, because these guys do have incredible regeneration, and I need to isolate them quickly. Flame Cannon is opening fire. We'll watch as this just flattens some orcs. Oh man, so good. So you can see my Quarrelers are opening fire over here. I know I need to get rid of this Chariot early on if I want to win. Look at that Flame Cannon just laying down the law. And you can see I did pull my Longbeards over here to help, and I'm going to bring one of my Runesmiths in here to hold down these nasty Skulkers. Over here you can see I'm going to chase after these Orc Boys, and these Orc Boys in this mod are just so fat and slow that I'm actually going to catch them, which is hilarious. So you can see I've done some good damage here on these guys. Flame Cannon coming in, laying down the law, but I think I am going to lose this main line engagement if I can't really support it here with this Flame Cannon, because there's just so many Orc Boys. So you can see I'm going to get some nice counter charges over here. You can see these Dwarf Warriors are going to charge these Orc Arrow Boys. Great choice of targeting here. Are actually going to be shooting into the back of my Quarrelers, who are no longer shielded, or no, they are not shielded in the back. So they're going to start taking a lot of damage. And you can see here I did a tricksy thing. I did just charge Belagar into these Orc Boys, and then I pulled my Grumbling Guard back away because I knew I didn't have enough here to kind of stop these Chariots and these Orc Boar Boy Biggins. So definitely you got to be aware of this when someone just catches you on your Lord, catches a unit on your Lord like this. Here you can see these Biggins are coming in, and they're going to just start laying down the law with the help of these Orc Boys. But you can see now my Quarrelers, I've had to switch. I've kind of started scaring these guys off, but I'm going to have to switch targets here onto these Crimson Killers here soon. And you can see my Goblobbers, or my Grudge Thrower still getting its shots in. And you can see these Grumbling Guards sandwiching these Orc Boar Boy Biggins. And they're going to eliminate these guys really quick. And you can see, because I did have so many units back here, I was able to deal with these Chariots. But you can see this side is definitely wavering. I've done almost no damage, and my front line is not doing as well as I kind of need it to. They're taking a lot of damage, and you can see my Quarrelers are slowly, not very slowly, pretty fast, dying. But I did put some nice damage down with my Quarrelers here. Got a nice flame cannon shot in there, but you can see my Longbeards are gone, and now I need to pull in my reserves. Perfect timing here to help deal with these Crimson Killers. My Longbeards should be able to deal with these guys, but you can see these trolls coming in the back. They're just going to lay down the law here, even though that's goblins. So you can see my Quarrelers are starting to rout. My flame cannon sees my weakening left flank, and it's just going to start opening fire. This is just the first of many volleys here that's going to attempt to switch this side in my favor. Oh man, but it does do a lot of friendly fire. So you can see a ton of damage being put down. But if I do hit my own troops here, they are going to rout. So definitely a danger there. You can see my Grudge Thrower is opening fire, and man, just sending those orcs flying. Look at that, just a series of amazing shots here. And Biggins in this mod are not cheap, so really doing a lot of damage. This was a huge infantry force, and look at it, it's like almost completely annihilated. My Dwarf Warriors are going to be routing here soon, though. So, but you can see the balance bar is pretty still even. My front line is winning here. And you can see these Dwarf Warriors are about to rout. I believe with that, I'm going to hit my own troops in the back, and they are just going to rout off the field. You can see my Grumbling Guard, though, are doing a great job. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass helps finish these guys off. Air Chariot did come back. But look at this flame cannon. Just, oh, man. Such carnage. Oh, man. You can see there, I did get rid of my own Dwarf Warrior, but I almost dealt with like 1,500 gold of my opponent. So definitely very lucky there with some of those flame cannon shots. So now you can see my Dwarf Warriors did get in here against these Orc Arrow Boys. Good thing about these guys is they're not pushovers, so they still should be doing some work. You can see the Wyvern has realized the threat of this flame cannon. It's come over here to try and shut it down, but it's just a little too late. You can see my Quarrelers are going to turn around, and my Longbeards, my Runesmiths. You can see Belgar in here just all angry with his hammer. Maybe he's on his way to Carrick 8 Peaks. You can see my Grudge Thrower in the showering those guys in the background. And Dwarf Warriors are just so cool. I've always loved Belgar. I can't wait till they add the Skaven in for the kind of lore. I hope the Skaven get to fight for Carrick 8 Peaks too, because it is a 3-way fight, and currently it's just kind of a 2-way. But you can see the Wyvern coming around here trying to deal with the remnants of my forces. Some Orc Boys coming back. But you can see my Dwarf Warriors still steady, even though they've taken a ton of damage. You can see I'm just chasing this guy around the map. Flame Cannon's still active. I think I have enough troops for all 4. So definitely going to be opening fire. You see these trolls are coming back, which is not good for me. Let's see what I decided to shoot at. Oh, these guys. And look, these Orc Boys are like, we're going to come back. We're still in the fight. Oh, man. Got like nearly every single dude there, and they're just going to turn around and get on out of there, which is probably a good choice for these biggins. They, no one ever told them that a flame cannon was going to be bursting them to bits. And I believe I'm going to switch over here. This flame cannon, just carnage. Lots of misses there, but oh, there's some pretty good shots. And that actually is a problem when it hits like a place and then shoots your troops out all sides, and then it's too accurate, so it hits the same spot. Definitely mitigates some of the damage. You can see the trolls here don't like that there's flame going on, so they're going to come barf on the crew. They have no hope here. You can see 4 dudes left. Fighting to the last. Shaken, only shaken, no big deal. Your entire crew is dead, but no big deal. And you can see really it's just the Wyvern. There was kind of a duel between him and Belgar, but Belgar is not a pushover, and he has super high melee defense of 64, so he's just very hard to hurt. And he does a decent amount of, even poisoned, he does 400 armor, 400 damage. And the Wyvern is an 86 armor, so definitely one-on-one it could beat him. But just not with his Longbeards around, and it's going to be definitely a Pyrrhic victory for the Dwarves, and I don't think Belgar is going to have enough troops left over to take on Carrick 8 Peaks. Definitely, if this is the campaign, it's like 8 stacks of like goddamn crooked moon. You can see my Dwarf Warriors did very well. Dwarf Warriors with great weapons were kind of a bad pick on my part in this matchup. But you can see my Flame Cannon getting 2 XP chevrons, just racking up kills, really helping to shut down these Biggins and some of those Orc Boys in the main line, and definitely winning the day, because that's only a 900 gold unit so in this mod, so definitely one of the things that helped me win here. But anyways, great game to Steel Faith, and there'll be more in the future. Thanks so much, and that's that.